This is a Vacants to Value anniversary event.
It's a little chilly and drizzly, but otherwise a beautiful day for another demo event under Vacants to Value. My name is Paul Graziano. I'm the Commissioner of Housing for the City of Baltimore. I'm here with the Mayor, the Council President, and a number of others I'll recognize shortly to continue our Vacants to Value efforts that stretches from one corner of the city to another. Today we're in the Broadway East neighborhood where we will continue to make progress with demolition and reinvestment activity, which we'll hear more about shortly. I'd like to acknowledge a few people who are here. As I mentioned, you'll be hearing from the Mayor and the Council President as well, if he'd like to speak. I know Senator Irby was here. He's right over here. Senator Irby. You'll be hearing from Eric Booker, who's the President of the new Broadway East Community Association. Pastor Wilson is right here, and I know this man has been exhibiting the patience of Job on this one, but I'm happy to say that this administration is moving forward with a commitment that was made some time ago to get these properties down, abutting your beautiful church. I know Jeff Carroll will be hearing from Humanum shortly about their Deconstruction program. I'd like to acknowledge some folks from my team, Deputy Commissioners Michael Braverman and somewhere there, and Julie Day, and Kim Washington, my Chief of Staff, Eric Uttenreither, and I mentioned Eric Booker. You're going to hear from him in a dual role here as one of the top people in code enforcement, but also as the head of the Community Association. Terry Booker also here from New Broadway Community Association. Let me just say that we are here today to continue to deliver on the commitment that we've made to this community. We have, building upon the major reinvestment of the East Baltimore Development Initiative area and the tremendous economic engine to the south with Hopkins, seen the creation of several community development cluster areas, which are one of the key building blocks of the Vacants to Value program. And many in the Oliver area, where we've seen tremendous reinvestment, and here as well, and along the Amtrak line, which you'll hear more about from the Mayor. This particular effort today builds upon the two initiatives, the Vacants to Value, of course, but also the Green Tracks initiative, which the Mayor will talk about as well. We are here again today to continue the efforts to create, eliminate blight, to create more green space, and to set the stage for future redevelopment, including the food hub, which will be located in the city's city-owned pumping station nearby, and homes that have been renovated and are continuing to be renovated by HEBCAC. So this has been a tremendous effort, and it continues, and I'd like to now ask Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake to elaborate on some of the efforts here in particular.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with all of you. This is a day that I know that you have waited for some time, and I'm very pleased to stand here with City Council President Jack Young. This is your former district, and I know that this project is something that is very close to your heart as well. Earlier today, I was just a couple of blocks away from here over on Gay Street. I was there because the Broadway East neighborhood, as you can see when you drive through, is experiencing a true renaissance. I stood there with Civic Works and other community leaders because on behalf of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I was very pleased to announce a Wells Fargo grant in the amount of $300,000 was being awarded to the Green Tracks project. There is a tremendous amount of investment that is happening to rebuild East Baltimore. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of this renaissance for this community. We could not do this work alone. We need the support of our community leaders, private developers, and our city, state, and federal partners in order to get this to make this happen. I'm particularly grateful for my team at the Department of Housing, including Deputy Commissioners Michael Braverman and Julie Day. I want to thank them for their dedication and their hard work revitalizing Baltimore through Vacants to Value. My Vacants to Value team delivers. It's an initiative of mine that started 5 years ago. And I started this program because I wanted to rebuild our neighborhoods. I wanted to quickly address the growing number of vacant properties throughout our city. Through Vacants to Value, we're removing blight and rebuilding our city, and we're giving families who are here more reasons to stay. Communities are transforming for the better, and Broadway East is one of those communities. Today, the city will start deconstruction of 15 properties on the even side of the 2000 block of East Biddle Street. This will create green space and help stimulate additional reinvestment in the community. This side of the city has already seen substantial development through EBDI. Their commitment to rebuilding Baltimore changed the market dynamic. They saw opportunity where interest had languished for decades. With a master plan that spanned 88 acres, EBDI, or the East Baltimore Development Initiative, changed the landscape and created demand. This is how public and private organizations can work together to strengthen our neighborhoods. And it is through these types of collaborations that we've been able to build stronger economic drivers for our neighborhoods, encourage new home ownership and reinvestment with existing residents, and improve amenities. Through Vacants to Value, a community development cluster has been created around the Broadway corridor with a commitment to address every vacant property. Yeah. We can clap for that. Every mayor and city-owned vacant property in the 1500 block of Broadway will be sold. From the start of Vacants to Value, we've sold 47 buildings and 6 vacant lots along Broadway, and we filed for receivership on 8 non-city-owned vacants. This is progress.
Yes, it is.
Today, we are moving our city and Broadway East forward. And we're doing this through a great deconstruction program. Finding new and creative ways to address the costs associated with blight is a challenge for Baltimore and urban areas across our country, let alone to make it a sustainable method. My deconstruction program was launched in 2014 in partnership with Humanum, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to workforce development, also dedicated to mental health and developmental disability services for those who are in the most need across Maryland. Through Humanum, the program promotes job training and building material reuse when demolishing blighted properties. Everyone says, why don't you try to do something more than just take the buildings down? And we said, you know what, we can. We can train people who are right here in this community to have jobs. And we can also sell this material. And our materials is hot on the market. We have the Baltimore brick, the lumber, and something else I know that we're selling. So the program uses green techniques to take buildings apart piece by piece, making the structural lumber, the bricks, and the architectural elements available for reuse, repurposing, and resale, so everybody can have a little bit of Baltimore. And it also, as I said, creates jobs for Baltimore residents. Since the start of our deconstruction program, we have salvaged approximately 19,000 square feet of wooden flooring and more than 50,000 board feet of structural lumber, and more than 300,000 Baltimore bricks. Additionally, and this to me is the best part, the program has created 26 new jobs for those with barriers to employment, complete with benefits and on-the-job training. We consider this program, thank you. We consider this program to be highly successful and plan to make more deconstruction a permanent part of Baltimore's demolition program. Additionally, the properties being deconstructed on the 2000 block of East Biddle Street are part of Baltimore's Green Track project. This is a city-led initiative to eliminate blight and beautify neighborhoods along the Amtrak Northeast Corridor. For years, we have heard complaints from residents, from institutions, from business leaders that the last mile on both sides coming into the city was not a true reflection of the beauty of our city. Well, just like this, it was this administration that's taken these buildings down. It's this administration that's doing something about it. And with the Green Tracks Initiative, we are changing the landscape on that last mile and really reflecting the beauty that is in our city. Through Vacants to Value and the Growing Green initiatives, Green Tracks is a collaboration between the Baltimore Housing Department and the city's planning department. We've strategically demolished blocks of vacant homes along the Amtrak's East Baltimore train tracks, and we'll connect those green spaces with Green Tracks will connect green space to current revitalization projects such as the new Henderson Hopkins School, the homes rehabilitated along the historic East Baltimore Community Action Coalition. And the HEBCAC work is really helping us a lot with this. The program will also use green spaces to connect further development projects involving city-owned pumping station and the lithograph building at Chase and Chester. Again, it's just another milestone as we continue to move this city forward, neighborhood by neighborhood. I want to thank you for joining us today. I know, again, this was a long time getting here, and I could not be more thrilled to celebrate this milestone, and not just what it means for this block. And a lot of times people focus on the buildings coming down, but it's what we're building while we are tearing this down. We're building hope. We are building hope not just in the community, but in those families where these jobs are being created. And that's what I hope is the takeaway for so many, because, you know, many of the people who we are working to employ can seem as broken as these homes. But when you have faith and you have hope and you have investment, strategic investment, we can change lives and we can change our city. And that's what Vacants to Value is about for me. So thank you for indulging me a little bit to talk about some of the work that we're doing. And I want to invite to speak someone who's been a true partner in the revitalization of East Baltimore, Council President Jack Young.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I remembered my aunt lived at 2034. And another one of my aunts lived at 2032, and one of my best friends lived right next door to my aunt, who happened to have been, you know, Caucasian. This was a mixed income community at one time, whether you know it or not, where blacks and whites lived side by side. And the lithograph building up the street was a employment place, but it was majority all white. I think the one person that worked there used to be a janitor, and he was black. But this whole neighborhood, it's ironic we're here to turn this, to take these buildings down. My two classmates, Victor and his brother Pierre, Pierre was found dead in his apartment, and Victor died in a car accident just a few days ago. And now we're doing deconstruction on this block. Madam Mayor, I want to thank you and your team for having the foresight and the vision to tear down these houses piece by piece, because as people come from, you know, different parts of the country and they ride past this is what they see. But I'm just amazed that on Broadway and some of the other streets, they have taken all of the awnings down off the building, and I wonder why they never got up here to take these off, because they're just as high, because those things are worth a lot of money. So as we begin to deconstruct these homes, I'm quite sure someone's going to want to buy all of those. Yeah. So, but I'm happy today because this is going to really make Reverend Wilson, Dr. Wilson, happy, because I know he's been on us for a number of years, and he's been threatening us for a number of years to get these houses down. And I know that it's going to do his heart well to see all of these houses come down. So, Madam Mayor, I want to thank you again for your investment in East Baltimore, because you was here a couple of weeks ago up on Holbrook. You've been on Rutland Avenue getting houses down. Now you're on Biddle Street. And, you know, your Vacant to Value is working and is making a difference. So I want to thank you for your vision to turn some of this stuff into green space, and the ones that we can rehab and get people living in them is a testament to what you and your administration have been able to do through Vacant to Value. Broadway, you know, I remember all those vacant houses. Those houses are going for anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000, and people are buying them. And it's not, yeah, that's a clappable moment. And it's not that these communities are being gentrified, because blacks and whites are buying these homes, and some of them are affordable. So again, thank you for all that you do and all that you have done to make Baltimore City, as I say, the best city in America, and Baltimore's best days are ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President, and it reminds me of a time a few years back when you and I were driving around. I think you were still the district councilman, talking about your vision of East Baltimore, and to think of the progress we've made since that point, and your leadership in the mayors have been critical to that. So I want to thank both of you. I want to acknowledge a couple of people who from the mayor's team. I see Deputy Mayor Colin Tarbert and Leon Pinkett as well, critical partners to the housing department as we work through these issues, and working with us in planning and others. So I want to thank you both for that as well. I don't think I mentioned Bill Bolden from our team, who oversees the inspection of these demolitions, so obviously that's critical work as well. I also wanted to, kind of building on the President's theme, I understand we have two people here today who are still here who lived on this block. And Odessa Dorkins, I think, is right behind us here. Did you say you lived in 2010?
No, my mother lived.
Oh, your mother lived in
Right.
2010.
In May of 1953, when she came to Baltimore from South Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
So my uncle also lived in the block, but I visited several times.
So this is old home here,
history.
yeah.
This is home, yes.
But you're still here.
You're
still here in this neighborhood, yes.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. And this is progress, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm so happy to see it.
Yes, and I also believe that
Thank you.
Robert Brown, where's Robert? Right there with the city hat on. Did you live in 2022?
2022.
Right there. So, and you're still here in the neighborhood.
Not in this neighborhood, but I'm
Right next door.
Baptist church.
Okay. Well, I know there are a lot of parishioners here from Pastor Wilson's church as well. So it's great to have the community gathering here as we pass the Thanksgiving holiday and moving into other holidays here. It is a time for Thanksgiving about the progress we're making here. I want to introduce quickly a person whom I know in a couple of different roles, and I mentioned before. Eric Booker is one of the critical members on our code enforcement team, as everybody I'm sure knows, because he's out there 24/7, it seems, dealing with code enforcement issues. A terrific representative of this administration, but also he's, I guess this would be his night job, as president of the New Broadway East Community Association. So why don't you come on up here, Eric, and talk a little bit about this.
Thank you. Thank you. This is an awesome day. An awesome day. Liquid sunshine, little deconstruction. This is an awesome day. I just want to say thank you, Madam Mayor, Mr. President, Commissioner Graziano, Michael Braveman, Julie Day, the whole team, and recognize Terry Booker, who is the chair of the Housing and Community Development Committee on the New Broadway East Community Association board. This is an awesome day. So all of you who have not recognized what's going on north of the tracks, you need to pay attention. Biddle Street, we got Humanum, Food Hub is coming, Mary Harvin, Israel Baptist stayed and invested, Southern Baptist stayed and invested, the lithograph building. North of the tracks is where it's happening. Broadway East is on the rise. Thank you for your contribution, Madam Mayor, Mr. President, administration. This is an awesome day for Broadway East.
Okay. All right. I think the next person I'm going to introduce is the one who has perhaps been waiting the longest for this and is the most excited perhaps of anybody here. This is a man, as Eric just said, who stayed. His church not only stayed, but he built a beautiful new church, and he's committed to this community. And we are here to support that commitment by eliminating some major blight that directly abuts the church's beautiful property. So I'm going to ask Pastor Wilson to come on up and talk about how he feels about this moment finally getting here.
Thank you so much. Let me just do what pastors, believers should always do, and that is to acknowledge the Spirit of Christ. And I thank God for Jesus. I also want to thank our mayor, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings, the president of the City Council, Jack Branch, Councilman Carl Stokes in his absence, Councilman Warren Branch, in his absence, Delegate Talmadge Branch, Sister Joan Conway, Senator McFadden, Commissioner Graciana, Deputy Commissioner Julia Day, and from our community, Mrs. Stovall, President of Carlton Square Nonprofit, Ella Durant in her absence, President of Carlton Square, Eric Booker, who's my boy, Senator Irby, my neighbor, Gus Augustus, my other boy, amen, and Jeff Carroll from Humanum. He bought a lovely lunch for us the other day, and I have to thank him for that. Booker ate the most, amen. I put those names first because I worried every last one of you all to death. And I know that you all are tired of me, but I'm not tired of you. You'll be seeing even more of me because there's much work to be done. But I must say, this is a great day. I agree with Booker. For 12 long years, we have demonstrated the patience of Job. We've been trying to remove all of this blight, these abandoned buildings, the graffiti, all of that we have been confronted with. And because it really bothered me, because we invested $11 million building on the corner of Preston and Chester Streets, 11 million. And to see this blight turn so many people away and turn them off, I am peacock happy and hallelujah glad that this day has finally arrived. We have been trying to all of this, these abandoned buildings and blight that have been an eyesore to the community. Now it's finally becoming a reality. Yes. I'm so proud to say that this project will provide something like 20 or 25 jobs for people who are looking for employment. Thank you all for that. Yeah. However, I want to be a little more specific about the community. We need to look at Preston Street, all up and down Washington Street. In fact, right now there's a building on the corner of Huffman and Preston that need to come down, Huffman and Washington. They need to come down today. It's a health hazard. It's a safety hazard. They are being held, that building, the wall is being held up by poles. And if you don't believe me, I'll walk you there now in all of this rain. And so I want to end by saying, again, thank you all for helping to make that which I thought was impossible possible. And I must say that I never gave up hope. Look what can happen when we partner, when we work together, when all of these institutions and organizations come together, we can make a difference in this city.
That's right.
I conclude by saying thank you all. Thank every last one of you for the sacrifices, for going to bat for us. Together, we will beautify this city. Together, we will make this city great and grand again, like the Baltimore it used to be. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Wilson. And in a few days, when those Amtrak trains come through here, this will all be gone. And that will be more progress, because we, as the mayor said, we want to improve our neighborhoods, but I know that folks who live in the neighborhoods want the outside world to have a different view of their homes and their communities. So it's more than symbolism. It is about hope, and it is about a tremendous future. We were, I think it was last week, I think just before Thanksgiving, we had an event, Great Blacks in Wax, where we were doing some deconstruction activity as well, and we heard from this gentleman, and I didn't realize there were this many Amtrak trains through here. Wow, that's 3 in about 5 minutes here. But which says another great thing about Baltimore. We are in that corridor, that north-south corridor, which is that vibrant northeast corridor. And I have so much hope for this city because of the people here, but also our location is strategic. But anyway, we heard from this gentleman last week about the great work that Humanum is doing in details. And I'm going to ask Jeff Carroll to come back up here today and talk about the great work that they're doing. And could you give us the menu that you served these folks the other day?
Sure.
Okay, there you go.
Well, Madam Mayor, it's always a pleasure to be at one of these events with you. Probably among the organizations that have collaborated with the city and Department of Housing in particular, working with Michael and Julie and the team there. Humanum has been so excited to participate in Vacants to Value because it had a vision beyond just getting rid of the blight. It really wanted to restore the city and to create hope for individuals, not only by getting rid of those things that were detracting and restoring the things that gave housing, but also creating jobs for people. And by using deconstruction as a means of removing the blight, we've been able to create 25 jobs to date and plan to hire another 20 folks over the next several months. In fact, we've put out a sort of an all-points bulletin to our local partners here who help us find people from the community, and found a couple of gentlemen this morning who are here from the community and who will be applying for work with us in the next day. So we're excited about those kinds of things that happen. As we begin to look at this row of houses that will be coming down, the kinds of materials that we'll be taking out of this building are found here propped up against the building. We'll take out the joists, we'll take out decking, the one-by decking on the roof, we'll take out the flooring, and of course the bricks. And the bricks have definitely, yes, I'm saving 2 for you, Mr. Brown. All right, I've got one for you. And then, yeah, that was actually the tile that Mark's holding came out of the North Avenue houses. Just some of the most extraordinary, exquisite. So we don't find those kinds of treasures very often in these buildings, but that was special. But the brick has really become special. We've just got word from our primary buyer who buys our brick and then uses it for a variety of applications, both interior and exterior, that the Jimmy Buffett chain of restaurants, Margaritaville, loves the Baltimore blend. And they're going to be putting it in all of their restaurants across the country. We've seen 300,000 bricks leave Baltimore for Connecticut and other parts of the country where they're being processed or sold. And we're watching that market expand and grow. We find pieces like this that add to that treasure, and we find historical pieces. And as these come down, we will find things from this community that will tell part of the story, because these are houses people lived in. These are houses that were built by Baltimoreans, lived in by Baltimoreans. We want Baltimoreans to be part of the restoration of the materials, the reclamation of those materials, and then have it continue to create jobs for Baltimoreans. And so the whole Vacants to Value package has been such a hopeful thing, and as we've worked together, and I'm looking forward to working with you, Pastor Wilson, and I love what you said to me the other day about a vision for this community of where people could walk to church again. That says so many things about a community, doesn't it? About its health.
Live where you worship.
That's exactly right. Live where you worship. That means you probably got jobs, that you've got hope, that you've got income. You've got a reason to stay here, and I'm excited about all that. One of the things we want to do, though, the mayor has become very proficient at cleaning brick. Yes. And so we're going to fire up our brick machine for her. This is an Italian import that we found. I had to search all over the world to find it. But it actually does help us with cleaning off the face brick, which has a more durable mortar. So I'm going to fire that up for you. All right. But we're going to get you geared up. Okay?
Clean that brick! Clean that brick! Clean that brick!
Great job, Mayor. And now, can you buy one of these machines here, like order before midnight tonight, and you can get one of these, and they mop together, you know, for $29.99. Yeah. I think it's probably a little more than that, but it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful machine to do wonderful work. And I want to thank everybody for being out here today. As you come back in a little bit, and you'll see progress here, and you'll see transformation, and you'll see it as we continue to expand this work throughout the city. So this being November 30th, this is the last Vacants to Value event of this month, which is the 5-year anniversary month. But do not fear, we will be continuing this work throughout the months and years ahead. So we have it here, and we're very excited to be able to continue the momentum. And I'm so happy that we're going to expand the Deconstruction program and go from a demonstration to an ongoing, much expanded program. And we hope that Humanum will continue to be a partner with us in details. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here.